all the way from Louisiana, USA. Crawfish nets. Genuine crawfish nets. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now I watch a lot of American crawfishing videos and they use all kinds of different traps, most of which would be illegal to use here in Australia. But I've seen a few using these nets and I didn't know a lot about them. I thought I want some, and then where can I get them? Nobody said where they got them or what they're called or who makes them or anything. So I've done a bit of Googling and I found them for sale at a website called netsandmore.com in America, in Louisiana. They're $30, $29.95 for a dozen of them. Now that's 30 American dollars, so it's not even $50. Makes them less than $5 a net, which is good value. But to get them posted over here cost me an absolute fortune. So they cost me 30 American, so say 50 Australian, give or take a little bit. But then it cost me all up $175 to have a dozen of these nets landed at my house. So I've now got some genuine crawfish nets all the way from America. Now I'm in New South Wales today in the Riverina. I've had a look at the New South Wales DPI fisheries laws on yabbying, and I've had a look at the Victorian rules and regs, and everything seems pretty legit. Now most of the stuff at the Nets and More website, most of the crawfish traps are illegal in Australia. They're too big or they've got too many funnels and wrong size funnels and all that sort of stuff. But I would class this as a drop net, or a hoop net as they call them, because it sits flat. Nothing is trapped at any particular time. The yabbies are free to come in and walk out whenever they want to. The diameters for hoop nets in both states are way bigger. These well and truly fit within inside the diameter, and the drop isn't very high. Now once you put a bit of weight in there, the center will drop down a little bit. The design is that they're super lightweight. They fold down to nothing, and you can carry them around backpacking or just for really quick and easy yabbying. I reckon they look really cool. Now I'll show you what one looks like when it's not unfolded. Let's get one. Now look at how small and compact they are when they're folded up. They all come like that. A dozen of them came like that in a long skinny box. I'm going to put the camera on my head and hopefully frame it properly and show you how to set these up. Now I've got to find, first there's a rubber band. I'll take the rubber band off. Put that in my pocket. Undo the net like that. Now I've got to work out which way it goes so that it's not all crossed and tangled here. This is the first time I've opened this net. That's the only one of the dozen that I've set up. I've had it set up for a couple of weeks at home. I've just been waiting for a bit of warmer weather and a bit of less wind. Maybe I think I've got it there. Right, that looks like that's the right angle. So all I've got to do is grab the top, fold it out a little bit like that. Just sort of stretch that wire out with my hands. And there's my second net ready to go. I'll put something in the bottom there. Let's pretend this is the bait. That just makes that sit nice and low. So sits flat like that, check it, and it pulls up tight and the yabbies get caught in the middle. Genius. The other part to this is this hook. I made this hook. That's just a bent bit of wire, a bit of rubber around there to stop it moving, a couple of hose clamps. I bought this at Bunnings. It's a squeegee for cleaning windows, but it's expandable, or extendable I should say. So now I can get way back like this, dig the hook under, check the net, put it out. There's no strings. I don't have to throw any rope or anything, just lower it out like that. Pick it up, check it, put it back down. Now the only thing that I didn't remember to do with these nets is label them. So I've stopped on the way up here at a service station. I've bought some permanent markers and some masking tape. And I'm just going to put a couple of temporary labels on there with my credentials as required by law. Then I'm going to bait them both up with a little bit of lamb's fry and then go and put them to the test. Give them their first run, see how they go. There's my 5 nets all opened up, ready to go. I've just got to label them and bait them. One thing I forgot to show you is how you put them back together when you're ready to leave. All you do, if you want to fold them back up, is you just bend that back in a little bit. Just bend them back in, like that, and then away you go. Wrap that up and fold them away. Unwrap it and open them again. Super, super, super easy. Bend the shoulders out. Good to go again. They are cool. There's the lamb's fly. Lamb's fly. There's the lamb's fry wrapper. I'll leave that there the whole time I'm here, and that'll dry out and drip a little bit before I pack up and leave. There's me 5 nets, all baited up with lamb's fry, ready to go. One thing that New South Wales does well is the credentials on your nets. You've got to type what sort of net it is, your initials, your date of birth, and your postcode. I would class these as hoop nets. So I put a HN for hoop nets. If you're using open top lift nets, it's PN for pyramid nets, or BT for bait traps. But I'm going to put HN for hoop nets because that's the nets that, these are like little mini hoop nets. I forgot to bring string, so the meat is actually tied in with cable ties. Except that one, I just realised I forgot it. So hopefully the meat doesn't tear because I've got no other meat. Anyhow, I'll fix that one up and get the nets in. Finally now, after a great heap of talking, we get to go yabbying. There's a busy road right here, so there's going to be a few trucks and tractors and cars and all kinds of things going past there, no doubt. How deep's that? Only shallow. I might go out a bit further. Right, there's the first net. There's the second net. Just very, very muddy. There's the third net. There's the fourth net. Oh shit! For the last net I've walked out onto this log. How deep is it there? That'll do. 5 nets are in. Right, it's time to check these nets. I won't call it the impatient check. They've been in about 10 minutes, which for a net this size should be long enough if the yabbies are biting. But being that it's only just the second half of September and things haven't been really warm, it might still be a bit early, but look at my footprints here. I'm certainly not looking forward to checking these nets as much as I normally would be. It's a nightmare walking out here. Oh. Right, net number 1 and nothing. Might be a little bit too early maybe. Leave me a bit longer this time perhaps. Nothing. Net number 3, I actually fell over here coming out before. Must have looked hilarious. Covered in mud. And nothing. I would have thought that 10 minutes would have been enough. I nearly went over. Oh, this is ridiculous. I might have to move this net. This particular part of the dam here is way muddier than all the others. There's nothing in it. I'm going to move it to another spot. And the final net, nothing at all. I think it might be a little bit early. And this is the one that I've moved. It can go over this side. Oh, it's a bit deeper here. Right, it's time to check them again. They've been in for half an hour this time. I think that if there's nothing in them now, I'll pull them out and leave. Come back when the weather warms up a bit more. Could be just a little bit early yet. Today's a warm day, but they haven't all been this warm. And no, it's not looking good. Number 2. Oh hey, I've got 2. Oh, one fell through the net. They're not big enough. One fell through the net. This one stayed in there, and there was a black beetle there as well. They're a bad sign in yabby dams. This one's going to be thrown back anyway. This one's going to be thrown back anyway because he's too small. That's about the minimum size that's going to fall through the net, and anything smaller than that's probably going to go through the mesh apparently. Oh well, at least I'm on the board. I say I caught 1.5 because one fell through the net and I got the other one. I've left those other 2 nets on the bank because I'm going to take them out of there. If I start catching a few yabbies like I just did then, especially if they're bigger, I might stay a bit longer. Net number 3. Oh, there was one on the top that he got out. He's only a real little one. I'll take it out. No, you know what? I'm going to leave it in. I'll leave him in, give him one more soak. I'm feeling a bit encouraged now. Oh, well, 2 or 3 nets have had yabbies in them. What about this one? Oh, yes, I've got a good one. There was a black beetle as well, though, and there's 2 black beetles in there. Black beetles always seem to be a sign of bad yabbying. And would you believe, I finally got a good one, and it's got eggs. Oh, well. I'll throw it over there. Probably shouldn't have thrown it like that with eggs, but anyway. This is the one that I moved last time. And it's got a little one. Before I got through the net. I got it in my hand, had it in my hand, and I got through the net. That's okay, it was a bit small anyway. It was a bit deeper in it there, wasn't it? I can still see it. I'm just going to punch my thumb through there to release a bit of fresh blood. Right, well, I've caught half a dozen or so. A couple of small ones slipped through the net. One decent one had eggs, and a couple that were a bit small. I'm after a feed of yabbies today, and I've got a feeling this dam isn't going to be the place to get it. But anyway, it's fun trying. I'll give the nets another half an hour and see how I go, and I'll probably pull them out then, I think. Unless, for whatever reason, a heap of big yabbies come along. I'm just packing a few things away so that when I pull the nets out, I can just put them in the car and get going. I've just picked up this. Remember I put it on the ground before? Look, almost all of the blood's gone. Between the flies and the ants, it's now quite clean. I can put it in my car without having to worry about blood dripping anywhere. Thanks, nature. Right, I'm going to pull the nets out now. I just don't think I'm going to get a good feed here. What that means is that I'll probably catch a few big ones now just to tempt me to stay. I do think with these nets there will be a higher rate of escapees over the normal drop nets or hoop nets, just because they're a bit smaller. The yabbies can flick out the side a bit quicker. They've all got their good and bad points. Righto, net number one, and nothing. This one here seems to be the hardest to get to, the softest mud. And a black beetle, stupid things. This is the net that had the yabby with eggs before. Oh, it's got another big one. This guy's another big one with eggs. I don't reckon it's the same one because I threw that one back over there before. Get a photo of that in there if it doesn't fall out. Right, so I've only caught two decent ones and both of them have had eggs. See, the meat's been mangled, it's been chewed up a fair bit. It's a good sign. I kid you not, I just saw a black beetle surface right under the wire. Just sort of come and jumped. Oh, and one little yabby and it just fell out. These nets obviously aren't very good for collecting bait-sized yabbies, but that's not what I'm after anyway. I'm after eaters. And I've got one net left to catch me a dozen or so big yabbies. Try not to get water in my boot here. There's a truck going past. If you can hear that noise, there's a little one. About the minimum size that you can catch in these nets. And even then I reckon there's a fair chance of getting through the net. Alright, see you later, mate. Now I'm just going to leave those nets there for 10 minutes or so to dry out while I take my boots off and just pack everything up. I want them to dry out before I fold them up. Now I bought these from netsandmore.com, an American website. Just a bit of a warning, if you're going to buy any kind of nets like these from overseas, check the rules and regulations to make sure that they're okay. I know Victorian Fisheries shared a post recently where a guy, he bought a net that had a whole heap of different funnels. It was quite big and it was over spec, just over specification, and he got himself into a bit of hot water. These companies overseas, they're not obliged to follow Australian standards. They can sell whatever's legal in their country, they can sell, and that might not be legal in our country. So just make sure you do your homework before you import any kind of nets or anything from overseas. Now this is, there goes a truck. This has been a semi-successful trip. I didn't catch a lot of yabbies. I was after a feed of yabbies and I didn't catch a feed of yabbies, but I did get a few yabbies and I've worked out that the nets work really well. They're not great for bait size yabbies because the mesh is a little bit big, similar to the open top lift nets. And you're going to have a few more escapees with these nets than what you will with larger nets. But you can fold them down, put them in your backpack if you have to hike in somewhere, put them on your bag if you want to go on a motorbike adventure. They're small and compact and they do certainly work, as I proved today. I'm a big fan, I really like these nets. I'm not a big fan of all these trucks going past while I'm trying to talk though. Folks, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, and hopefully as the weather warms up, the yabbying adventures will be a little bit more successful.